All right, so today we're diving into one of the biggest questions we all have, right? How does God actually introduce you to your soulmate? Let's get into it.
If you're here, I'm willing to bet you felt this deep in your heart. You've been praying, you've been waiting, and maybe, just maybe, you've started to wonder if love is even in the cards for you. You see everyone else pairing up, and that question just echoes. God, when is it going to be my turn?
Well, the answer starts with something really foundational. See, before we can even get to the how, we have to understand the who behind it all. And it all begins with this incredible idea that there's a divine plan written just for you.
Just let that sink in for a second. Long before you ever felt that longing, before you ever had a crush, God already had a story in motion. A story that includes the specific person He designed for you to do life with. Now this right here, this is a total game changer. This reframes that entire season of waiting. It's not God telling you no. It's Him saying, hold on, I'm preparing something and someone. That delay isn't a punishment. It's a promise taking shape.
It kind of reminds me of Abraham, God promises him this huge family, but the wait was long. We're talking decades. And what does he do? Like so many of us, he gets antsy, he gets impatient, and he tries to make it happen on his own. But what that story really shows us is that God's timing isn't swayed by our rush. It's built on His perfect plan.
So if waiting is really all about preparation, what does that actually look like? This is where the focus totally shifts. Because it's not just about God preparing that person for you, it's about Him preparing you for them.
Man, this is such a powerful question. It flips the whole script from just passively waiting for someone to show up to actively working with God on your own heart. It's about you becoming ready for that divine appointment. So what does this prep work involve? Well, it really boils down to three huge things: going deeper in your faith, letting God heal those old wounds, and really, truly aligning your own desires with His plan. Because listen, the goal is never for two broken people to try and complete each other. The goal is for God to make you whole in Him first.
Just look at Joseph's life. The guy went through some serious stuff. Betrayal, prison, being forgotten. But none of it was punishment. Every single trial was preparation. If God had given him his destiny too early, he wouldn't have had the character to handle it. And you know what? It's the exact same with relationships.
And this perspective, it can change how you see your past too. All those relationships that didn't work out, the ones that ended in heartbreak, what if what felt like rejection was actually God's divine protection? What if He was closing the wrong door on purpose to keep you safe for the right one?
Okay, so you're doing the work. You're in this season of preparation. So how do you know when it's the real deal? How do you tell the difference between God's voice and all the other noise out there? Well, it comes down to confirmation. And the difference is like night and day. Seriously, a relationship based on the world's standards, it's often full of chaos, anxiety, and this feeling like it's a constant battle. But a love that comes from God, it's marked by peace, by clarity, by a steadiness that lets your soul just rest. It's not a fight.
This goes all the way back to page 1. Adam wasn't out there stressing. He wasn't swiping left and right on some dating app. He was busy with his purpose, and God literally brought Eve right to him. There was no guessing game. It was just clear.
So these are the big green lights to look for. And that first one, peace, that's the ultimate confirmation. A person sent from God will never, ever pull you away from Him. They will always, always draw you closer.
So how do you get that kind of clarity? It's prayer. Prayer is the bridge. Think about it. Isaac's servant didn't just wander around hoping for the best. No, he prayed, specifically, for a sign. And God answered by orchestrating the whole thing. Prayer tunes our hearts to see what God is already doing.
And that brings us to our final point, and honestly, this might be the most important idea of all. This elevates the whole thing beyond just finding a romantic partner and into something so much bigger. We're talking about a partnership in purpose.
This is so huge. The world tries to sell us this idea that we're all just half a person looking for our other half. But that's not the truth. Only God can make you whole. A soulmate is meant to complement you, to come alongside you as you both run after your God-given calling.
And check out this divine blueprint right here. The order is everything. First, God gave Adam a purpose, a job to do. Then God identified a need, that it wasn't good for him to do that job alone. And only then did He provide the partner. You see that? purpose often comes before the partner.
The story of Ruth and Boaz is the perfect picture of this. Was Ruth desperately searching for a husband? Nope. She was focused on being faithful, on serving her family, on doing the next right thing. And right there, in the middle of her obedience, God brought her a divine appointment.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to this one beautiful foundational promise. When you make seeking God and His kingdom your number one thing, He promises He'll take care of all the other things, and that includes writing the most amazing love story for you.
So you see, a love story written by God is about so much more than just your happiness. It becomes this powerful testimony to everyone watching of His incredible faithfulness, His goodness, and His absolutely perfect timing.
And that really leaves us with this final question to chew on. Your focus in this season matters more than anything. Are you chasing after the gift of love, or are you chasing after the giver of love? Because when you chase the author, that's when the most beautiful stories are written.